So what are we making tonight?
Gnocchi alla Sorrentina.
Ah, you said it nicely. It's not gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
Gnocchi is gnocchi. A lot of people cannot pronounce that. I've got friends that still to this day, I kind of make fun of them because they can't say the ñ sound, which is typical Italian. But anyway, if you don't know how to say it, it's fine anyway, but you can make them. So that's the most important part. Okay, so for the ones of you who are cooking with me, I hope you prepped, as I suggested, on the meetup. Mm-hmm. And the prepping consisted in boiling the potatoes until they are cooked. There's the potatoes, with the skin, and peel them and leave them aside.
Why with the skin?
Just because they don't fall apart while they boil. So you keep them in the skin, take them out of the water, peel them, and here we are. So this is first step is done. I hope you also managed to do it. And I put a little bit of salt in the water, not a lot. So we'll need to put a little more salt later on when we cook them when we boil them in the water. Yes. Tonight I have no rings. Took everything off because tonight I'm gonna get my hands sticky. Let's put it that way.
I was less prepared.
Yeah, you will, but you're not gonna do this, I guess. Okay, so what we're gonna do first thing first, the dish is gonna go into the oven. So let's set the oven on at 450. There it is, babe. 450, because we're gonna need it later on. There it is. It's going.
Slowly but surely.
There it is. That's fine. And start. Let me make sure that there's nothing in the oven. I always have to do that. Sometimes I forget stuff and then it's a disaster. Okay, so we started that. The next thing we're gonna do, Lucia is gonna help me make the sauce.
Yes.
Very, very simple sauce. Today we are gonna do the
garlic.
Very, very, very quick and easy red sauce with hardly anything in it. The only thing we're going to use is garlic and basil, which goes right at the end. So, Luci, if you want to chop a couple of cloves of garlic, please. Let's see how you do it. Well, you've got a great knife here that you can use.
That scares me.
That's that. You push it down. You crack the skin.
Look at that.
Well, I guess. Okay, so two cloves, that's enough, and I wouldn't even chop them.
Really?
Leave them whole, yes, because we don't actually want to.
Can I cut them in half?
No.
Okay.
Leave them whole because but no, this one you can. This one you can. We leave them like that because we're gonna remove them. We're not gonna keep them. We just want.
Sometimes
it's fine. That's fine. You can see the garlic is still absolutely fresh. It's not like brownish. When it's brownish, actually, let me see. I have some that I noticed. I just bought it and it was actually old, so I was so disappointed. No, maybe just one. I think I've thrown it away. No, I thrown it away, but it was really brown and I didn't use it. I refused to use it. So it's gonna be nice and like a milky color, and it's perfect. Even if it has the little, how do you call it? The little germ.
Yeah. Germination.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put our three tablespoons of olive oil, and in my case, instead of putting them in a spoon, I'll just make sure that it just covers the bottom of the
more?
Yeah, a little more. That's it. It covers the bottom of the pot or the pan, and we put it on. We put it on medium to high. Let it cook a little bit.
Well, it's always Evo we use, extra virgin.
Always extra virgin. Oh, you're using that, but which is fine. There it is.
There she is.
Yeah, there she is. Always extra virgin olive oil. For the ones who haven't followed me before, I prefer either Greek, but most of all Italian, and then Spanish. Italian, Spanish, and Greek. That's my preference.
From one place.
From one country. So when it gives you a variety of countries it comes from, especially if it's like North Africa, who knows what else,
Cyprus,
it's not going to be the best quality. So stick to one country, and it's going to be extra virgin in glass, possibly dark glass, because it protects the quality of the olive oil. So we've said that. Ta-ta. Next, we're gonna open our cans. One is already open.
So this
Let's
is
open the second.
tomato sauce, so make sure it's fully pureed,
Yes, correct.
not chunky.
Yeah, I sometimes I buy the chunky. I actually prefer the chunky, believe it or not, but because I then puree it myself, I use my lovely. This is this is a tool that I never go without in my house. Yeah, I don't want to. So the hands, how do you call it? And what is the name?
Blender.
The blender. The hand blender. I love my blender. I use it for soups. I use it for everything. So what I do when I get the tomato in chunks.
Yes, not whole tomatoes.
No, I never really use the whole tomato. I find it too watery. But when it's chunky, I put it in a container and I blend it before. I can do it when it's hot, or I either do it before I cook it, or once it's old. Actually, most of the times, to be honest, I do it afterwards because it blends all the onions as well. Onions or the garlic together, so you don't have the pieces of, garlic or onion, when you eat your pasta or whatever it is that you use it with. So, but I'm not going to do that tonight because it's already blended. Let's put this beautiful tool away. We'll use it another time. Now, the garlic is getting nice and golden. We can put, in 2 more minutes, we can put the tomato in. And as you can see, I've got 2 cans of what? 18 ounces or 15 ounces
15
each.
ounces.
Okay, so we use them both.
If you have extra, you keep it for the next day.
Correct.
For leftover pasta.
Always better to have a little more than a little less. That's what that's my motto.
We know Americans love sauce, so.
Yeah, so one more reason. Okay, so that's that. I think 2 more seconds. And let's just turn it down a little bit. We don't want the oil to fry it or to just go to overheat because that's also not good for the olive oil.
I know extra virgin olive oil has one of the lowest heats. What is it called?
Smoking point.
Yes, heat points.
Yeah.
Compared to like
which means what?
Which means
it's good for frying as well.
Yes. No.
Yeah, it is
it's
good.
not good for frying.
Well, I thought it was.
No, because of the pie.
I think you're wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Let's get in the comments. I think olive oil is good for frying.
It's not good for frying.
Let's see if you can tell us.
You need avocado oil because
look, baby. You gotta concentrate. Okay. Well, it's a little brown, but it's not burned. Let's go. Whoa, you see, it was too hot. It was a touch too hot.
When you bring amateurs to the kitchen.
And we burned a little bit of the thing.
It's smoky.
Smoky is fine. No, it wasn't burnt. It's still, it wasn't black. I mean, it's golden.
And we always do this.
And we always do that. Yeah, she knows what I do. I like to do that. Just a touch of water to remove the last little bit of tomato left. And that's just because I don't like to waste ever. Even this little bit. Like virtually a drop. But I pick it all up on the side and that's it. Sorry, but I really don't like wasting of food. So ta-ta, and then we're gonna put our lovely cans in the recycling after I wash them. So I just leave them in the sink right now. Okay, so we let that, we stir it and we leave that for about 10 minutes. Let's put that on 10 minutes. We don't want to overcook it. Some people cook it a little longer. Let's make it 15. There it is. 15 on medium, okay? So I put it on 6 out of 10 in terms of heat. We let it there, we leave it there for 15 minutes until it's ready.
A classic sauce.
Classic sauce.
Yeah.
Nothing
special.
It was special because actually the classic sauce is the best. It goes with everything. But the good thing is that it's simple, the simplest sauce.
Exactly.
Okay, now we're gonna do the fun part.
Get our hands
Okay,
ready.
so we've done with our lovely garlic. Bye-bye. And I'm gonna get my hands dirty, I guess.
Yes.
Unless you take your what you call it off. Okay, so what you need to do right now, we have the potatoes. And so how are we gonna work with the potatoes? We need a surface. So I've got this like granite and it's absolutely perfect for me. You can do pizzas. I do everything on this granite because it's not sticky. If you have like wood, a wooden table, maybe like with that, how do you call it, absorbent? You know, maybe it's not the right thing to use because then it's gonna get, you know, messy.
Yeah.
If you don't have a nice surface like I do, you can maybe take a what we call it, squeeze. Well, now this is a little overused, and you can do it on one of those if you prefer. But you need a lot of space. That's what I'm trying to say.
So stainless steel.
Yes, stainless steel is perfect. Stainless steel is perfect.
Probably the best.
Yes, that's what the chefs
use.
yeah. But since we don't have stainless steel, but you know, the old ladies, the old grandmas, they actually used a very big, very large piece of wood.
Really?
Il tagliere is called the tagliere. It was a huge piece of wood.
It was like cutting.
Yeah, it was a huge cutting board. Huge, like virtually like this size, you know. And they did everything on that because it was wood. They could just clean it, put it on the sink and clean it. So it was done. It was used for making the pasta because it also is non-sticky. Remember?
That's true.
I need to drink. That's when I get my. Okay. So what are we gonna do now?
We're gonna rice the potatoes.
Correct. First, before we do that, okay, we've got our 2 cups of flour. It's a little under two cups, but it's fine because actually I'm not going to use all of it.
So
on the recipe, I
just
said
quickly, could you just go over what you've done here for some of the people who haven't checked your weight?
That's fine. So this is russet potatoes. You can also use Yukon Gold. Okay, those are the best options to use to make gnocchi here in the US. In Italy, we've got different type of potatoes and we use a different kind, but here this is what you use because they have the right consistency. Let's make sure that this is all right. It's boiling.
Yeah,
and we'll just
you don't want it too soft because then it will fall apart.
Yes.
So pretty firm.
Yeah,
potatoes.
firm, but also like a little floury.
Floury.
Not those, you know,
like
those
dustier.
Yeah, dustier, like floury, not gluey. You know, there's some
sticky.
potatoes that are sticky. Do not use those.
And what have you done with these potatoes exactly?
So I wash them with the peel, and then I put them in this pot, completely covered with boiling water, and I let them cook for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, you let them cook for about 30 to 40 to 50 minutes. The boil, yes, only water and salt. So, and you let them cook for about as long as it takes for you to, when you take a knife and it's still in the pot, I mean, it goes in fairly easily. Okay, so that means that it's cooked.
Crumble.
It's cooked thoroughly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It doesn't like fall apart and like.
Yes, and it doesn't fall apart.
Yeah.
But it's the way
it's cooked.
Okay. So now we said we clean the surface. We take a little bit of first thing we do, we take a little bit of flour, put it on the surface so that the potatoes don't stick. Okay. Then we take our lovely knife. We divide them into 2 because otherwise, and I'm gonna remove all the extra little bits and pieces, like the dark areas. Yeah, this is not gonna be good. Yeah.
So Francesca, could you remind us how long you're cooking the sauce with the garlic?
It's 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay.
I set the timer. I set the timer for 15 minutes. I don't want it overcooked. I always say, for the ones who haven't cooked with me before, the most important is that the sauce stays bright red. The minute it turns brownish, it's just overcooked and it doesn't have the same pepper flavor. Okay, so now on the recipe, I said 2 cups and more of flour. You know, I copied it from the original recipe, but you'll see I'll use less than that. And also on the recipe, I said an egg. Okay, my grandma used to make gnocchi without the egg. And funny enough, last time I made gnocchi, Lucia was like, "Oh, but why are they're
so
like
pale?
They're pale.
They were like white little gnocchi."
Yeah, Correct.
And I thought it must be there was no egg in it.
Correct. Exactly. So because there's no egg, they look a little paler, but the taste is delicious.
Exactly.
And this is a good solution.
Vegan.
Correct. That's exactly what I was about to say. A lot of you said to me, send me direct messages. How can I make this recipe vegan? This is one of the ways to do it.
And we were talking about it. Well, you'll find that in Italy, when you see fresh pasta, that it will be so bright, like orange, bright orange.
Yes.
Or why is that?
That's the egg pasta.
It's the egg yolk.
Yeah, it's the egg
pasta.
Yeah, because the spaghetti and
those are paler.
No.
More pale than American ones.
Yeah.
The spaghetti.
Yes.
But the
but those ones don't need eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
But the handmade pasta that has egg usually it's like more like orange,
like golden almost.
Yeah, golden.
Because the yolk is so healthy. In
Italy the yolks are much more like orange. They're like intense.
You'll make an omelet and it's like a bright orange omelet.
But tonight we're not going to use the egg. Yeah. We'll put it aside and we're going to do it the way my grandma used to make it.
Yes.
Okay, which is as delicious and lighter.
What was your grandma's name?
Bruna.
Bruna.
Easy peasy.
Nonna Bruna's recipe.
Nonna Bruna. In fact. Okay, so we'll take the first piece.
What is the instrument you have?
I don't know what this is.
The ricer, potato ricer.
There
just
it
a
is.
ricer for anything.
There's our lovely guy. Another thing that my grandma used to do, instead of, the recipes you'll find online, they all tell you what? Yeah, they all tell you to create a volcano put the flour first, create a sort of a volcano, put the egg in, and then put the potatoes onto the hole of the volcano. I do it differently. You know, I do first the potatoes, and then I mix in the whatchamacallit.
Can I try that?
Yeah, you can try. You need very strong hands. So if you don't have one of these guys, you can also use a masher. Yeah.
Potato masher.
A potato masher. It's a little more messy because you gotta try to break down the potato as thin as possible.
Yeah.
So this is actually the best instrument.
You also don't want liquid potato. You know, when you use a masher, sometimes you can over liquefy it.
You do?
I think so.
Wait a second. Which one is the masher?
Masher.
That's the masher. I was thinking. Oopsie, sorry about that. I was thinking of the other thing that I have.
What do you have?
The beater. The beater.
No, the beater. Or whatever the name is.
The whisk.
This one. The hammer beater.
Which one I was thinking about? This one here.
It's a potato masher.
Yeah, but so it doesn't make them liquid.
Well, if you keep going and then it gets all flat.
Forget about that.
Because
delete. That's what she said.
That's when you add cream to.
Okay. Okay. But I'm like, what? That doesn't make them liquid. I thought you were talking about the hand blend.
Okay, you do need
a lot of.
She made it.
I actually think that these I cooked them a little. I could have cooked them a little more.
She made it look so easy, guys.
You see, I've got strong hands.
So while you're doing this, Francesca, do you just want to check to see if there's anyone has any questions?
Any questions?
Please put it on the chat.
Yes.
Or even speak up.
Speak up, absolutely. I prefer if you speak up because at least we can hear you and we're not missing your question.
We can meet you.
Sometimes if my husband is busy doing this, then we miss the question.
She can't do it. She's so strong.
I'm good, eh?
That was a tough one.
It was a little tough. That's because they needed to be a little more cooked, to be honest. I removed them a little too early, but that's fine. Go, put it in there.
Voila.
I had to cut them in half, obviously, otherwise they didn't fit.
This looks like a pain to wash.
No, it's actually not too bad. One thing is, I spray
you're not
all over
making
the
a
place.
volcano, though.
No, I'm not making a volcano.
It looks a bit volcano.
No, I know, but I'm not gonna make a volcano. I'm gonna spread it. Let's make sure 4 minutes remaining.
I'm lowering the temperature.
Yes.
So it doesn't overcook.
And it doesn't boil. We don't want it to boil too much.
Yeah.
This one was actually more difficult than the other ones. This one was hard. Okay. And then last one. Oopsie. So I put some salt already in the boiling water that I used to boil the potato in. This one is tough. My goodness.
So the oven is preheated.
Okay, great. Spraying everywhere. This thing. Okay, so there it is.
I turned the tomato sauce to low because it was bubbling.
Okay,
Part of it.
and we still have 4 minutes.
So it's on low.
Let's have a look at that consistency. Okay.
It could go a little longer because it's quite watery still.
Yeah.
It's quite
I'm
watery.
actually gonna take the top off.
Yes, take
so
it off.
Evaporates.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
loses the
less-
liquidity.
It loses the liquid.
Okay, and in the meantime, I removed all the potato from the tool because, again, I like to use all
If anybody on the chat knows what this
The potato ricer.
potato rice.
potato ricer,
Is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
Or a ricer.
yeah,
Basically, you can put anything in there and it will make
Okay.
more
Well, as
rice.
long as it's cooked.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now I don't even wash my hands because they're gonna get dirty.
Could you I'm just curious. I don't know
Yeah.
if this is a knowledgeable question.
Yeah.
Could you make a sweet potato gnocchi?
Of course you can.
So you can put sweet
And
potatoes-
actually, someone, I don't know if the person is following me tonight, suggested to use purple potatoes.
Oh, you got
Yukon. No, these are the gold
Oh.
Yukon. I don't know which one are the purple potatoes. I think as long as the consistency of the potato is
Yeah.
similar to the russet,
yeah.
then you're fine. You can use any potato you want, to be honest. I mean, they make gnocchi with cauliflower, but I think in that case they use it's a different story. So don't do the same with cauliflower, please. Stick to potatoes because it's a different story. Okay, now we spread it a little bit like that, and we're gonna start spreading our what you call it, flour on top of it.
If you have extra, can you
And then we
can you
mix.
freeze it?
Okay, so this
So
is the
question,
story.
Francesca, while
Yes.
you're on that step, how much flour did you put?
Okay, so I put a little
A
bit of
handful?
flour on the ground, is on the
How much was a
surface.
little?
Well, just like a
Like when you make
that.
the pizza on
Yes,
the thing.
Yes.
Yes, I put that much, and then now I just put like a handful, and
what are
then
you
I
looking
mix
for?
it in.
What are you looking for exactly with the flour?
Okay, so what are we gonna do? It's all about the consistency. So right now, you see, it's all crumbled
It
up.
doesn't feel. It feels dusty. It feels very light when you touch it.
Okay, well, what we want to achieve, we want to achieve like
Combined.
not combined, like a dough type,
Potato.
like Play-Doh. That's it, Play-Doh. That sounds like a perfect
Consistency. It's like
consistency.
moldable.
Yes,
you
it's
know.
not sticky. It mustn't be sticky. It mustn't crumble like this.
Can I
So it's
try?
still it's still
So you started off with like 2 cups there, right?
it's on. And I don't think I'm gonna use more.
Mhm.
Actually,
Yeah.
that was less than 2 cups.
It was, okay.
Just under 2 cups.
Yeah, you just want to achieve like a Play-Doh.
And again, the reason why I do it, I like to do it this way around instead of making the flour volcano instead of what I did right now is because you can measure the flour, but you can't really measure the weight of the potatoes. I mean, it's gonna vary because it's the potato. You can't be precise. So it's better to add to the potatoes according to how much is needed than the other way around,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the other way around then is more difficult. Once if you have too much flour, you can't
Yeah.
add more potatoes
So-
because you've got to boil and
So
make
basically,
more.
you can do it in increments, slowly.
Yes,
We're at it.
correct. That's exactly what we're doing. We're doing it
Yeah.
in increments.
Okay, you got 13 seconds left on your
Yes, 15.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So
what do you
yeah,
want to do here?
It's just waiting.
Well, we can just switch it off now. 3 seconds, and that's it. Let's just leave it there on the stove, and it keeps on boiling.
This is very fun, guys. I can't.
Okay, let me do it. How do you enjoy it?
I love.
Okay, but can you see that it's not done yet?
Yes.
So
why
you're
is
gonna
it
be
why is it not done?
because I
Francesca?
can still feel like little
Air pockets.
air pockets. So you gotta really, you actually, and it's also still very, very, very moist.
Yeah.
So it needs to lose the moisture.
Which is what the flour does.
Correct. But the flour also helps to make sure that it sticks together. That's the actual.
Combines it.
That's the actual reason why we use the flour, so that it doesn't it doesn't disintegrate when we put them, when we boil them in the water. No, actually, I'm gonna do it because otherwise it's just a disaster. Not a disaster, but it could become a disaster if we both do it, and we just have needs to be.
It's very satisfying. That's what I can say.
So let's put some more flour there.
Like when you make pizza, it's like it always like sticks to you. Well, it does stick a bit, but it's just like sticks to the ground.
It's just like when you do the pizza. You do one, you fold it once.
It's more satisfying.
You fold it once, fold on the side, fold on the side, and that. Okay, until the consistency is right. So 1, 2, and 3, and I can still feel it. I can still feel it sticky on my hands. So more flour. You see, now we're getting to the two cups of flour. There it is. Is anybody cooking with me tonight, or nobody is?
I'm not sure. I'm looking on the chat.
It'd probably be a bit hard to keep up.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
hey, well done. Well done.
But I don't I don't have the tool that you have, so I try to use a model.
I am also trying to. It's just hard to put the microphone on when my hands are covered in potato.
Okay.
Hey, this is the time, I mean, I don't know if you've made them before, but if you haven't, first time is always the most important one in terms of if you make mistakes, you know how to, deal with them the second time you make them, the gnocchi, So,
should I boil the water?
Okay, so now well done. So yeah, we can boil the water. I'm getting all full of flour. It's still, I can still feel it's still sticky. You see, it's still getting stuck to the surface. So we keep on putting our flour, and we're getting really to the 2 cups now. Let's call it that way. Baguette. Let's put a little more on the ground, on the surface, so that, and roll it nicely in the thing. And now we're gonna take the first piece, and what we do, we create like this much, like a small, yeah, there it is. So what you do with this guy now, wait, just let's do one at a time. What we do with this one, then we make like a grissino. How do you call this thing? Like a skinny baguette. Very, very, very skinny baguette. Like we keep on rolling it.
Skinny cylinder.
Okay. I'm gonna put some more flour so that it doesn't stick.
Or a breadstick.
There it is. Well, it's a grissino.
Yeah.
A breadstick. Okay, so we don't want it too fat. We want it like the size of, and not too thin.
That's like a perfect.
Yes, so it needs to get to a point. I mean, I'm sure you've eaten gnocchi before. I'm sure.
Exactly.
The size of a gnocchi. So when you feel it in your palms, you're gonna have that kind of feeling.
It's like a Turkish delight.
Turkish delight.
Yeah. All floury.
Okay, so that's that.
I'm not sure how many you're feeding for, but definitely we will have lots of leftovers.
Yes, correct. And what do we do with the leftovers? That's another thing we're going to talk about. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to cut
like this much.
Basically an inch. Okay?
Like that.
Each one is supposed to be, how is that, Luch?
Perfect.
Actually, it's getting a little too flat.
Too skinny, yeah.
There.
That sound.
It's terrible sound. I know. If we were cutting on wood, it would be better. Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, I had a knife accident
last time. She helped me in the kitchen. She cut herself badly.
It was not fun. See, they're getting a little.
Yeah, they're getting like they needs to be a little more.
I'm gonna turn them that way.
Yeah, turn them that way, so that they stay a little more.
See, that actually looks much little pillows.
Don't make them too big, because then you really have to make sure that they're all the same size, because otherwise they're gonna cook differently, and it mustn't happen. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands while you do that. Oh.
Have you got the water boiling, Francesca?
No, not yet. Okay. It's fine, the water boiling. I mean, we can, if you want, we can put the water boiling now.
What do we do with the little bum?
You attach it to the next bowl.
Ah, I am so happy I asked.
Yes. So yeah, go. Take
And
that.
then you take the bum.
Yeah, and you stick it in. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna boil some water now. While we are doing that,
See, this process is just repeating itself.
exactly. But wait a second. The most important thing now,
I'm gonna move them over.
what we need to do, we can't just leave them like that in the middle of the, Okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a, how do you call this thing? A baking tray. We're taking a baking tray. I put, sorry, that's the sauce spraying on it. But this is a clean kitchen towel, kitchen thingy. I don't know what to call it. And then we put them all nicely on top of it so that they don't stick together. Remember, they're still sticky, so they could stick together, and we really don't want to do that.
They're just cute little.
Yes, pillows,
Gnocchis.
tiny little pillows. There it is. And these are, you can see that they're real handmade. I mean, it doesn't look.
How do you preserve these?
Okay, so if you make too many, okay, and you don't want to cook them all at the same, and then you're not gonna eat them all you need to do, you freeze them.
Like this? Or
You
cooked?
freeze them. No, you don't cook them. You freeze them like this. And then when you want to cook them, you use them frozen, as in you boil the water, you put them in frozen. The most important thing is that when you freeze them, you don't put them in a they have to lie flat and separate to freeze them. Otherwise, they're going to stick together. That is a very important thing. So, you put them on a tray that can go into the freezer, and then you freeze them. Okay. So this is our first lot. Move this guy out of the way. Sorry.
Do you have to line them up like that?
Well, I like them nice and neat.
Yeah.
They look much nicer. Okay, I don't think we're gonna do the whole thing tonight. Otherwise, it's gonna be
Can
forever.
you freeze that?
No, you can't freeze this. No, I really wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that'd be so hard
No,
to
no,
cut.
no. You don't freeze this. You freeze them. Unfortunately, you have to make them.
Could you remind us how many potatoes that was?
This was 4, like a large size potatoes. Four large. No, it's fine. 4 large size potatoes and 2 cups of flour. Full stop. Nothing else. Salt in the water that I used to boil the potatoes. Oh, okay, excellent. And then, and that's it. And I repeat, you can put the egg. It will take a little more flour when you use the egg as well. But otherwise, this is how much you get from 4 potatoes. So plenty.
I'm gonna teach you a trick afterwards.
Yes, we're gonna do this last roll, and then we're gonna boil them, because otherwise we're gonna be here forever. Okay, while she does that, I'm gonna put the water on the stove to boil, ready for the gnocchi to go into the water.
When you feel that it's going flat a little bit, just turn it on the side so you can keep alternate like that. That one's a bit long, but
yeah. And I repeat, try to make them as the same size as possible, because otherwise some are going to be cooked, some are going to be undercooked,
and
some are going to be overcooked.
Like
Yes, I like them up. I line them up. They're cute. Why not? So if you go to a little taverna in Italy, that's how they look. They don't look like factory made, they're all the same.
And
they're all
hard.
And they're hard. These are incredibly soft. For the ones of you who have followed me and the cooking with me, these are, you can feel the consistency.
Talk about Italy, Francesca.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to just do one thing. I'm putting the water in the pot so that it's ready for us to, to use. Water in the pot. I always use my lovely, this is another item that I never go without, because making a lot of pasta is always good to have this guy. Let's close it. Because it boils the pasta so fast. Sorry, the water so fast that it just speeds up the process. So I love having that. Also, I drink a lot of tea, so that's another thing. Okay, so there's the pot. I put a little bit of water and I put that on the highest. Sorry about the flour everywhere now. Today is like one of those days. And then I'm gonna put some salt, which is probably, for a pot that size, I'm gonna put this much salt, which is like a tablespoon, I would say. Okay, so there it is. The salt is in. I'm not adding the olive oil. Yes, a question? No, I thought there was a question. Okay, no worries.
I do have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I was impressed that you just used your hand because that reminds me of my mom in measuring the tape. Two.
Is this Joseph?
Yeah, this is Joseph.
Hi.
How are you? Good. I want to ask in the beginning, I didn't cook either because my son was supposed to come over here and I didn't want to cook a bunch of gnocchi and have them go bad either. And then I had to drive. However, the question is on the potatoes, if you, when we cooked or boiled ours, my mom wanted us to peel them very quickly after they were boiled, which burned our hands. Okay.
Yes.
And
but wait a second. I interrupt you for a second. Joseph, you told me that your mom didn't boil the potatoes.
Yes, that's true. And what I'm saying is she did boil the potatoes, but my sister, she stopped boiling the potatoes so that the moisture wouldn't be as much a factor with collecting too much flour in order to get a certain consistency.
So my question is how you mash the potatoes if they were uncooked?
I'm sorry?
So the potatoes were undercooked. They were still cooked, but not.
I think they could have been baked. They could have been baked, and I didn't get that information. But my question is the way you did it. Okay. How long did you wait after you boiled them to peel them, and then how long did
I peeled them straight away.
You did?
Yes, straight away you peel them, and I also burned my fingers. If that.
Hey, you wouldn't be an Italian cook unless you burn yourself. My mom always had burns. All right, thank you.
Annoying. I just did it because automatically that's what I do.
It's easier when
I wonder if it's a technique that is that you say automatically I do it because that's what I've always done. It's an instinct, but that's exactly the way we do it. But yeah. I'll be interested when you find out about what she does with the potatoes rather than boiling them. I thought you were talking about not cooked, and I was like, how is that possible that she doesn't cook the potatoes? But you never know nowadays. So many things can be done.
That's why when it's hot, you want the potato in the ricer so you can get it all squeezed out while it's hot before it starts to get cooler again.
Yeah, in fact, is with that. But as a matter of what you may call it, it's difficult when we're
Italian and
Okay, so my daughter is showing you now.
I'm trying to master my technique.
Yes, first of all, you should have put some flour, okay, so that it doesn't stick.
This is the rustic way.
Yes.
Of cooking gnocchi, or like forming them, of making them. So what you'd find in restaurants a lot of the time is that the gnocchi will look more like this with little lines on them.
Yes. And why do you think they put the lines?
I think it's to hold the sauce.
Correct.
Okay. To hold the sauce. To grab the sauce. Okay, these ones were my first attempts, so don't look at them as much. But okay, I haven't done this in a while. But what you do is you turn them by the side. You cut them like this, and you'll grab a fork, and you'll literally just. Okay, don't do that.
Don't push too hard. You gotta push very, very slow, very, very lightly.
Well, we can still use that.
Yes, it's fine. But also make sure that there's flour underneath, because otherwise
you have to quickly go like. Okay, this is too slippery, I think.
Okay, that's too slippery.
Okay, can you try? I'm struggling a little bit. Is that it? Is that how much you do it? Okay, can I try again? So
that's it. Like it's a fast boom, boom.
Okay.
And you mustn't press. That's it.
Oh,
that's better.
Look at that technique.
Yeah, that's better. You gotta press a little more.
Okay, guys, it's a learning curve. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I mean, as long as there's a little bit of a grip.
A whoosh.
Yeah. That's fine. That's it.
There you
well
go.
done.
There's a good one. And this is more tedious, but
Yes,
It's more.
it pays back at the end.
It pays back at the end. There you go.
Especially when you eat them, not like we're doing tonight. There is Sorrentina and there's a lot of sauce. But
There you go.
if you cook them with the butter and sage, you know, that's you don't want to have a plain gnocco like this. You don't want to have something like that. You want to have a gnocchi with a little bit of a grip.
A grip.
Yeah.
We'll throw these in here anyway.
Yeah, we'll throw them.
Someone will
there.
get a surprise ruche.
Yes, exactly. There's a fun. We're not going to do that because we don't have the time.
Okay.
But this is the kind of things you do with your family, blah, 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 with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, maybe if you want, that's a great Thanksgiving.
You can make sweet potato gnocchi.
Yes, sweet potato gnocchi for Thanksgiving. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I put a little bit of flour on top so that it doesn't dry out.
The water is ready.
The water is boiling. Okay, so the water is boiling, and I didn't put. I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be very, very quick process.
So Francesca, with your water boiling, do you turn it down when you put the gnocchi
Correct.
in?
Well done. So as you can see now, it's boiling heavily. We don't want that. We're gonna turn it down. We're gonna put it on 6, not on high. The reason why is
Someone's
because
got their hand raised.
Okay.
which means what?
That's fine.
Oh, well done. See, we don't know all this.
Joe, do you have a question by any chance? Your hand is
There's
raised.
no one in the chat.
Okay.
There was another old one. Yeah,
Okay,
so-
no problem. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're gonna make sure that the water comes down a little bit. Oh, there it is. The water comes down a little bit because otherwise if it boils too heavily, it can destroy the gnocchi. Okay, but before we put the gnocchi in, we let that go. Make sure that it doesn't evaporate the whole thing. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our lovely sauce, okay? We're gonna put the basil, because I like to add it right at the end because it just stays fresher. I washed this. It's a little bit, there's a little bit of dark spots, but it doesn't bother me. Okay, I'll take my, you're not supposed to use scissors with basil, but you know what? I like doing it this way.
Easier.
Also, it just gets thinner and
Not controllable.
No, and also you eat it more. Some people don't, when they get the whole leaf in their mouth, they don't really like that
Oh, I love
sensation.
that.
But there it is. We're gonna do that. We mix it with the basil. We mix the basil in. Okay, I can even put a little more, to be honest.
Yeah, we love it.
We love this.
The fresh.
So you see that
Is it
was
a
like,
whole clove?
yeah, that's there was about 6, and now this is another 6. So this is, we didn't put salt, eh?
Oh no, we didn't.
Oh, well, that's a very important, very important thing. So we're gonna put a little bit of salt now while the sauce is still, not mixed with the gnocchi. We put a touch of salt, and we're not using how do you call it? Coarse, because otherwise it's not gonna melt.
So you're not using coarse?
No,
you're
I'm using
Mediterranean salt?
fine. No, that's fine salt. So that's like a pinch of salt, like a big pinch. But we are a family that loves salt, and that's
Not as good.
we're trying to cut down on salt, but
It's tough.
it's a very tough.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So where is Sorrento?
Where is Sorrento? You can answer, G. Where is Sorrento? Now my husband can talk about that.
I'm just the cameraman.
Okay.
Francesca.
Sorrento is in the south of Italy,
Yes.
near Napoli.
Near Napoli, south of Napoli, and
Yeah.
very close. And
It's on the Amalfi Coast.
correct. It's
Yeah.
one of the 3 main cities that are part of the Amalfi Coast. One is Sorrento, the other one is Positano, and the third one is Amalfi.
Sorrento is known for its lemons. I know that.
And
Limoncello.
limoncello. What comes with the lemons is the limoncello.
Limoncello.
They have lemons that are virtually the size bigger than a grapefruit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's a beautiful part of the world. It really, really
So-
is. Which brings me
Yes.
to tell you, I mean, first of all, before I carry on here, and the water, it keeps on boiling, which is fine. We just add a little bit of, I'm sure that you're probably a couple of steps behind me, so it's fine if we delay a little bit the whole thing, because I've got an assistant and most of you don't, so I'm sure you're
Not that you're a student.
my assistant has been helpful. So very quickly, as you know, I started a new meetup group. It's called Travel and Cook with Francesca.
Travel and
Cook. Travel and Cook with Francesca. And what makes it special is that, you know, we're meant to share an accommodation, and the evenings during the day, go to local markets. We're talking about Italy now, so travel to Italy because I wouldn't go anywhere else but in my own country that I know well. And we would go to local markets, buy fresh fish and vegetables and everything that it's Italian markets are something else, out of this world. And then we would bring them home and cook together. And at the same time, we would go and see a lot of the most important attractions in the area. And I'm organizing the first tour, which I'm gonna advertise soon on the group. So for the ones who are interested, please go on my new meetup group. Is called Travel and Cook with Francesca. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an incredible experience. Very different from your regular.
How many tours? When is it?
Very small tours, because that's the thing about it. It's not a touristic. It's not like a bus hopping off, hopping on. Trying to fit in as much as possible. It's a small group of maximum 8 people. And I'll be there, and we'll, and it's going to be starting. The first ones are going to start in May. The first ones are going to be ladies only, just for me to, get used to the new way of touring, because, I'm a tour guide, but I've never done this type of tour where we're all under the same roof.
Immersive.
And so, I'm going to start with only ladies, and then I'm going to just mix it up.
Dove?
Where I'm not telling you yet, but it's going to be a beautiful place. It's not your typical Rome, Florence, and Venice, because most of you who are travelers have seen that already. And, you can do that on your own, It's a very, very special place, and I'm not going to say it to you now. Go on the meetup group and you'll find out soon.
Cool.
Okay, let's go back to our cooking. So now what we've done, we put the tomato, the basil, and we're ready for that. And we're just going to leave it like that. Now we're going to just put
the bigger one.
As you can see, it's not boiling as aggressively. Okay. You can just, you can put them one at a time.
You put the smallest one in first.
I did.
What about your timer right now? Do you want to
the timer? We just
no
leave.
timer.
There's no time. We don't need the timer, because
You'll know
with
when
the
you're
gnocchi,
ready.
You see now they go straight down.
They go right to the bottom.
Boom, they just drop that. Oh
Yeah. Question.
Yes. What's the question? Why we do this?
Oh,
Ooh.
no, I wasn't asking a question.
Ouch.
Since you're on audio, you wait for them to float, right?
Yes, exactly.
Correct. That's exactly what we do. But I don't take them out the minute they come up. I'll just give it another couple of minutes.
Oh, minutes.
Yeah, I would probably
30
say,
seconds?
I like to cook them a little longer. Sometimes they're undercooked. We're talking about flour and potato. The potatoes are cooked already. The flour, there's not a lot. So I want to say about 30 seconds to maximum a minute.
You don't want to mix
You
it
mustn't
either.
mix. You mustn't mix. You just
That's
leave
it.
it like that.
Let them
Because,
be.
and if you
How
want, you
long
can just
can
shake it.
people expect to?
You'll find out. Virtually now I think we raise the water now a little bit. We
And
raise
there's
the
salt
heat.
in the water.
No, we put the salt.
Yeah, there
already.
is salt in the
Yes, we put the salt. You saw that. Put the salt in the water. We lower the heat because it needed to, calm down in terms of the boiling so that it doesn't destroy the gnocchi. And now I've raised it a little bit because what happened? We added the cold gnocchi, so it cooled down the water, so it needs to boil again. So I put it back on high.
What was the serving size for this? Is it quite filling?
Very
So
filling.
you don't need a lot.
Yeah, remember these are potatoes. So potatoes and flour. So these are very filling. You don't need a huge plate. And you can serve them with a side salad or side vegetables, or eat them on their own.
So
Fine as well.
we looked if you are not as impartial to tomato sauce as
Yes.
we are, there's lots of other options to use your gnocchi with,
Yeah.
just like a pasta in general.
Yes.
So you can put them with gorgonzola,
Yes.
Do you like that?
Delicious.
It's
Oh, I
delicious.
love gnocchi col gorgonzola. Oh my God, I'm a favorite.
Your favorites, butter and sage you've spoken about. I saw some things about pesto, but you could put anything with
Yes,
pesto.
bottom line, yeah. But gnocchi al gorgonzola for me is
Yes, very strong.
absolute
I
best.
can't eat
She
that.
can't eat it.
but-
Okay, yeah, they're coming up, but let's just, well, not yet. I'm gonna leave them for another 30
them
seconds.
go.
Look at that. So come here.
My one.
While those guys are doing that, I'm putting a little bit of the sauce in a bowl. That's what I'm doing, okay? I'm putting the sauce in a bowl. If I see the garlic clove, I'll remove it. So there's your sauce.
My ugly one.
Yes. And now those guys are coming up, so I'm gonna remove them now. You can see there are more now.
Does the water keep boiling, Francesca?
Yeah,
Do
the
you
water
turn it-
keep, no,
wanna turn
we'll
it
leave,
down?
we'll let it go. Okay, so now, there we go. We're gonna pick them up, let the water
Shake it out
shake it,
like a little colander.
yeah, and then put them nicely in the sauce.
I wouldn't suggest using a real colander for this
No, you don't use,
because
that's exactly how you do it. You
Yeah,
don't
like
use a
this.
colander. You
Like-
just you do exactly what we're doing.
exactly because the colander would make them stick together
You pick
And
them
then
up a
make
little
it
bit
a
of a
mess.
time,
gently.
And I repeat, we made a lot of sauce and we made it for the whole amount of gnocchi, which we didn't make. You know, we made like virtually a fourth of
This
what,
might not feed all four of us.
well, it will be fine. Might not actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Should I make some more?
You can if you want. Yeah, why not? Okay, so that's that.
One thing we did notice that when we use a
Actually,
wooden
we need more, to
spoon?
be honest.
when we use a metal thing, tell
Yeah.
them about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like when you use a metal spoon to mix it, they can get very squished. So we use a nice gentle.
Yes, very, very important. Again, they're very gentle and they can very easily break.
So you're talking about the spoon itself. So
Yes.
the spoon is rubberized.
Well, this one, but,
versus-
but
and
not
it's-
not
it's-
everybody
it's-
has that.
it's- it's
Not
me- yeah, so it's just softer, right?
It's a soft.
Don't use a metal spoon, please.
Don't use a metal spoon. Just make sure. Bottom line, don't mix them and destroy them. That's basically the message. Do it softly. There they are. They're in the sauce. We leave them exactly where they are. Now we're gonna make some more because otherwise we don't have enough.
I need that.
We don't have enough.
Okay,
for the-
Francesca, you got 3 minutes left.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just grab this guy. We're gonna put them in a smaller container since we're making less. Okay. So
with
we,
3 people in the kitchen, we talk more.
yeah, you see, we're talking a lot and we don't do what we're supposed to do. Okay, so I'm gonna prepare the little container, which I repeat, this is a half the size.
Baking or?
This is a baking, how do you call it? No, it's not. It's a baking.
This is gonna be for to bake.
Casserole dish.
It's a casserole. So originally I was supposed to use this one and I have it next to me. The reason why we're not going to use this is because we haven't made all of them. So for a time issue. You're making them too big.
I know.
Okay.
Much too big. Okay, so we're going to use a smaller one just so that you have an idea of what it looks like. Okay. In the meantime, we let the water boil because we're going to put the extra ones in. While we do all of that, I'm going to take the last ingredient, which is the mozzarella, because we need this as well, but it's not the last, it's the second to last, because we also have, here we go, the mozzarella and the Parmesan cheese, okay, which I've grated, but someone has been on this thing, so obviously I need to grate a little more. Someone has eaten it. Yeah, well, there it is. Maybe they're too big. They're not. This is how. Okay, so I'm gonna grate a little more Parmesan cheese. This is it. This is a Parmesan cheese. You can see it's very young. It's about 10, 12 months old, aged. So it's not really the best quality, to be honest with you. This is the only one I found when I went shopping, and I got this one. So, but generally speaking, you would want to buy a Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano, that is at least 24 months aged.
The
Those are
best,
the best.
is 24
This is very
to
young,
36.
Okay.
but it's fun.
Cutting
We're
out
not-
at 10 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, how are we gonna
Yeah.
do? I think we're just gonna reconnect.
Okay.
Okay, are you happy to reconnect?
Yep.
So that we can carry on, otherwise we're gonna be cut off again.
So how much more time you need?
Well, I
Francesca?
think maybe 10 minutes, just so
Cool.
that you see
Yes.
how, okay. So when we get cut off, we'll reconnect again one more time, and then we'll finally finish this recipe. Sorry, guys, I think this, okay, I'm gonna go in with these ones. In the meantime, if we get cut off, we're gonna carry on doing what we're doing, putting one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there
Aspetta
it is.
che metto anche questi.
God, these are the messiest.
I know, well, we're rushing.
Goodness, and you need to put some more. You see that they're sticky now, so you needed to put a little bit of. Because now you see how sticky they are. So you needed to do that.
Sorry.
It's
Sorry, I
fine.
apologize, Francesca. You got 9 minutes left.
Ah,
Sorry.
where'd it go?
I was looking at the wrong
Trying to
time.
speed you up.
Yes,
Sorry.
that's better.
What was that, Joe?
Because now we're rushing, making the most horrendous gnocchi now. Look at these things.
It's fine, they'll taste
You
good.
know that Italians work better under pressure, so you must have known that in the first place.
Oh yeah, we did it on purpose.
Yeah. Okay, no, don't put them in because those guys have already been boiling. So when those guys are out,
Look how beautiful these look though.
yeah, look how nice they look. Just check it out. That's a beautiful.
We thought
that's
that
a
was gonna
beautiful
be
look.
4 people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's because we don't have the
That's
time.
true.
We were supposed. I mean, if we didn't have all this talking and chatting, whatever, we would have made the whole lot.
Just complete that dish, and then I think that's
No, we're not. This needs to go in there. So we're waiting for those. So we're waiting for a few more, so that there's a little more to put in the container. Otherwise, it's nothing, and that doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's just wait for
Can
these
you mold
guys.
them afterwards, or is that just messy?
What do you mean?
Can I mold
Well,
them?
if you want to, I mean, sure.
Well, might as
I
well.
mean, my exactly. Look at them; they're a little.
Just want to get some help.
Okay,
Never give up on your gnocchi, guys.
never give up. Okay, these guys, I'm gonna bring them out. They don't look the same as the original ones.
It's okay.
They really don't. Once they're all together, they're all happy.
They will mesh.
They will all be happy.
It's the
There
love.
it
It's the
is.
love that counts.
Yeah, it's the love that counts. They're all brothers and sisters. Okay, put the other lot in. It's just in the meantime, I keep on mixing them up slowly so that I don't destroy them. Very important
This
thing.
is an Italian kitchen. It's not a.
You know what?
It's crazier.
Ah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. Okay, so while we got that, let's cut the mozzarella because we're not going to put it in this big. We need smaller pieces. Let me just grab a knife. Voila. And a board. And this is all over the place. Let's go back. So mozzarella, I remind you, always, never, when I say mozzarella, you know, I now think that whoever follows me has followed me before. So, you know, when I say mozzarella, I mean the fresh mozzarella. I don't mean the hard mozzarella. That's not Italian. It doesn't exist in Italy. Well, it does, but they use it only on pizza and the bad pizzas, to be honest.
So what mozzarella do you have here?
This is just a fresh mozzarella. You can find it anywhere. It's a log. This is the log. It
From
comes like
Trader Joe's?
this one is from Trader Joe's, but you can nowadays you find fresh mozzarella everywhere around the United States. I mean, wherever you are, you know, your Harris Teeter, your Publix, your whatever grocery
More
store.
pricey.
It's more pricey than the other one because it's much better quality and it's fresh. The other one is preserved. So there's your little cubes, okay? And we've got the grated Parmesan cheese. Okay, let's organize a little bit this.
They're not stable.
What do you mean they're not stable?
They don't. They float and move.
Ah, okay.
Is it ready?
Well, they float and move because of the boiling water.
Okay.
You can take them out slowly. Okay, go.
They're actually not that ugly.
No, they're fine. Slowly. Don't throw them. Okay, Good.
Gotta be. You treat them like little babies.
Yeah, they are little babies. Okay, go. Yeah, okay, but don't exaggerate.
Maybe that's a bit too much.
Okay, we start to get like the right amount now.
Very good.
Now we can eat
Yeah, we
and
won't
not be hungry.
two gnocchi each of us. There we
Okay.
go.
That's it. Go. Okay, done.
Done.
Okay, switch off the water. Okay, now we got a nice amount. And I repeat, we basically made a half of the log that we had. A half of it. And look how much stuff.
You can use that.
No, I don't think. Should I use that? No, I'm not using that. I'm using the small one because
Okay,
that
let's go.
was for this. So we use the little one because I think we've got enough. Okay, so now we put some olive oil on the dish, on the oven dish. We put the first
Put them in.
level, how do you call it? The first layer. The first level. First layer. Oh my goodness. The word doesn't come to me. Okay. Then we put the mozzarella, the chopped mozzarella, and the grated cheese, the grated parmesan. Okay.
The oven's already
First.
on.
The oven is on. Remember, we started it straight away. The first thing we did.
And this is
Second,
the,
and we can put a little bit, if you like it with a lot of sauce, you can add a little bit.
So this is the step that distinguishes gnocchi alla Sorrentina from any other gnocchi with
Red sauce.
Yeah.
Well, the gnocchi alla Sorrentina
This
are
is the
different because they are in the oven.
That's what I'm saying. This is the
Yes,
step that
correct,
distinguishes.
Correct.
And
The
what is
other
that
ones-
step exactly? Lucia?
Putting it in the oven in
Put it
a
in the-
dish with different layers.
Yes.
Different
And
layers.
mozzarella.
I
Instead,
got
the
you.
other,
You
the
can
regular
treat it like
gnocchi,
this.
the regular gnocchi, exactly. You put
Yeah.
them straight into the plate as they are, and
Exactly.
you sprinkle the Parmesan cheese, and that's it. But
Okay,
these ones,
so the regular gnocchi you would
You
just
can eat that,
you'd
yeah.
serve as is.
absolutely,
And ready to go.
that's ready to
This
eat.
is just what the
Yeah.
next step.
But this
Yes.
is the gnocchi alla Sorrentina. So they've got the how do you call it when
Elevated.
no, but when the cheese melts,
It's got like the
you know, the melting cheese
like
type
the
of vibe.
like Parmigiana
Yes.
di melanzana. That's
Okay, so that's the the second layer.
So you don't add any spices to that.
Ooh.
It's already oregano.
No,
or
we
red
added
pepper.
we added the basil. That's
Sure,
all we
okay,
need.
yeah.
If you want, you could have put a little bit of red peppers in the thingy, but now it's too late.
we're not.
But it's fine because I think the gnocchi, even if they don't have the spiciness, they're fine. To be honest, it's one of those pastas that like spaghetti with the chili
Right.
is nice, but
Right.
okay. So let's just make sure that it's gently, that it's all nicely placed.
So
Okay.
Francesca, you got 2 minutes left
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
basically
If there's
done.
any questions for anybody
wait,
before we
wait.
cut out, yeah.
Let's just do that. So you can see
How
it's
long do you cook it? How long do you bake it?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what you do, you bake them for 5 minutes. You switch the oven off. Okay, let's put,
So Francesca, you
layer.
switch the oven off and put it in.
wait, no,
Okay.
no, you do this.
All right,
So,
here we go. You got it.
There it is, the last layer of cheese. And then you can see I put some more sauce on top, okay?
Okay.
That was
There-
very important. Now we put the Parmesan. And look at that.
And
Alright.
it goes in the oven.
You got a
And-
minute, 27
Okay,
seconds.
it goes in the oven, so what we're gonna do, open the oven, put it in on the top
the cheese must
thingy,
melt.
on the top, whatchamacallit,
Layer.
yeah. Now we're gonna switch the oven off and we're gonna start the broil.
So the oven was already on.
Yes, so the oven is cooking it
But now the broil.
and now the broiler, what is going on?
Start.
No, start, there it is. No,
Turn the light on.
Okay, turn the light on.
So it's on high, the broiler.
Well, you can be on low or on high, depend. Put it on low actually,
Alright,
because
now-
we don't want it to. Wait, sorry, what's going on here? Broil, low, start.
Right.
That's it. Okay.
And how long is this for,
So
Francesca?
let's just. You're gonna see. I
It's
mean,
basically till the cheese melts on top.
correct. till the
Take it
cheese
out and
melts.
it's ready to go.
Yes. So the broiler is gonna melt the cheese, and at the same time, the heat, which was 450 degrees, is cooking the inside of the thing.
We'll post a picture on Meetup.
Yes, you can
Yeah, I
say
think-
you got 30 seconds to say goodbye and,
And
good night.
if it feels that it's undercooked, just keep it in for another 3 minutes until the cheese melts.